Welcome to Tigers Untapped, a Bluff City media podcast. Stepping up to the microphones are your hosts, Trey Lasley and TJ Willis. Pull up your chair, grab your favorite brew, and enjoy the conversation. Now, let's get to the show.
What up? Welcome to episode 62. It's your boy, Tired Dad, Trey, and Ashy Knee, TJ.
Not ashy. My knee's not ashy.
I know, you licked them junks.
I did not. Do you think I can lick my knee? Do you
He
hear
licked
the
his knee.
statements coming
Why
out
are you
of this
licking
dude's
knees before the...
Licking
mouth?
knees.
Do you think I can lick my knee?
TJ pulled a...
Well, we've all been there.
They look good now, though.
We've all been there.
Timothy, how was your weekend?
I'm going to be real honest. Today was a hell of a day.
Hell of a day.
We had no daycare, so both kids at home.
Oh, you said that.
Meeting
Hell of a
started-
can be good or...
No, hell of a day. Meeting
Bad.
started bright and early with folks across the pond. Like, it's been a long day. So I can't tell you what I did this weekend.
no.
I went to the park one day. I know that. That's all I got.
Have my Invisalign in, and this is a dark, dark beer. It's going to stain
yeah.
these junts.
Probably could have told you that because this is dark lager on the can. We have Crosstown El Gato
Malo.
which I think we openly agreed that means the bad cat, right?
The cat is bad.
The bad cat. Just kind of hold that up. It's kind of a cool can. Right?
I'm digging the can. Not going to get into
give
what
it-
it
yeah, can't
reminds
give it
me
away yet.
of,
Oh,
but something that I love.
I think we know.
Do we?
I like that I opened it and it didn't explode all over me. So
Hey, TJ, coming off the weekend, big win this weekend. Recovery win for the number 25 ranked men's tennis team. Going to Fayetteville and knocking.
I knew there was something in there. There was a curveball in there
Hogs.
for sure.
Hey, man.
I think they're sitting at, what are they? They're like 6-1 on the year now. Only loss is the top 10, number 9 ranked Stanford.
I mean,
So first year coach Chris Dewar, is that how you say
that's
it?
how I'd say it. Dreamers, thinkers, Coach Dewar.
Dewar
Yeah. We're probably butchering
got a
that,
good
sorry.
thing going on over there.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. I get notified. There's a tennis account
TJ gets
on Twitter.
Tagged in any tennis tweet ever
Yeah,
on
it
Twitter.
is,
on
It
X.
is pretty consistent. You get tagged in those things. Huh?
I do. College Tennis Nation. C Tennis Nation. So if you're a tennis person, they've got you. They tag me every time. And I appreciate it because it makes it a lot easier than me going having to search it out. Like, without that, I definitely would not have been able to tell you that we were good at tennis.
Don't think you would have been searching it out either.
No, I do follow them, though.
Do you?
Yeah.
Who, Memphis Tennis or C
no.
Tennis Nation?
My friend C Tennis Nation. I don't even. Does Memphis Tennis have a Twitter account? An X account?
I believe so. I think all of our sports do. I don't know. I'm
They
guessing.
do. U of M Tennis. Good. Seems like it's.
Is that the official one?
Yes, actually. Programs, so both male and female.
Have you been over there to the new tennis facility?
I mean, we live around the corner, so we see it all the time.
All
We go to
the
that
time.
park right there at Audubon. So it's pretty sick.
The LARPers?
It's pretty sick, man. No more LARPers there. They've
They don't do LARPers there anymore?
Well, I think the
No.
facility took over the LARP zone.
Oh, no.
part of it. I mean, essentially, but they've revamped the playground area over there. So
Really?
it kind of cut into it. Yeah, it's pretty nice.
It's
playground
really
now.
nice.
Wait, is
Audubon
that where you
Park has
guys
turned-
were the other day? It was so crowded.
It's nice over there now.
TJ sent a Snapchat from or was it? Yeah, it was you, of your wife and Ryan on the swing,
Yeah,
and I thought he was at Disney.
it's a nice little playground.
That's how crazy. That's how crowded it was.
We're off topic.
You guys
here,
have
but
a
yeah,
fast
pretty
pass
nice,
to
man.
Audubon?
Yeah, we just walked up.
They still have the golf course out there?
Yes,
they are
but
redoing it fully.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
a city-owned golf course, so they're flipping it. I don't think it's going to be open until another year, honestly.
You know that big church right across the street, Audubon Park Baptist?
Yeah.
I spent 12 years of my life every day in that building.
Wow.
Really?
That's where I grew up.
I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure the University of Memphis bought that church.
Really?
Bought the property. That's how I should word that. But
Interesting.
Are they going to put an on-campus stadium right there?
For what?
yeah, I don't know. That was years ago that happened. So Maybe it actually didn't happen when it's all said and done. I don't know. So big game that we lost. We can talk about that real quickly. Get that one out of the way. Tigers drop.
Oh, man.
An ugly one.
I'll just say that
74-71 to Rice.
After the UAB fiasco down in Beeham, I had no interest, honestly, in watching the Rice game.
I mean,
I kept trying to say that it was going to be ugly. I think everybody felt like that was a game you're going to win, right? And then even in the game, you're trailing the entire game basically. But you took we hit a 3 to, I think, took the lead by 3 with 2 minutes left or something. And you're like, okay, they're going to pull it out. And then would have been a great time to throw a little cash on plus money Rice to pull out the big.
It's disgusting, dude.
I mean, it's just, honestly, look, I know they got the win on Saturday, but sitting here right now, I do not feel any better than I did after we lost 3 or 4 in a row. I don't feel any better than after I felt after UAB. I don't feel any better after I felt after Rice.
I will say this, and I don't think Memphis has any business, and we've talked about this 50 times, so I don't even know why I'm mentioning it now, but Memphis has no business losing to USF, to UAB, to Tulane even. Like, yes, they are well coached, but like you have more talent than
I don't think
that
this
Tulane's
is
the reasonable one, but the rest of it, it's just like, what are we doing?
I don't think this is an exaggeration. I don't think it is an overreaction. I think losing that Rice game is legitimately one of the worst losses that
you asked that question
ever seen.
Is it the worst loss in the Penny era?
Oh, easily. I'm talking of the last 30 years.
The history of the program.
I've been a fan.
That or the 40 burger.
I mean, that's
40 points is a lot of points, dude.
It is, but that's also, you can point to, well, they just kind of gave up the blah, blah, blah. And that Tulsa team, as much as I can't stand that loss, was not anywhere near as bad as this Rice team.
Yeah, Rice is worse than Tulsa.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Then like
that's
Tulsa
why the
normally
Tulsa
is.
game
40 points is absurd.
It is absurd, but you can at least talk yourself into you just got run off, you quit, you weren't making shots, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
That Rice team was like 80th in KenPom or something. That's not awful. They're top 100 team. This Rice team.
Tulane team was 80th in
sorry,
KenPom. Yeah.
Tulsa.
Tulsa, excuse me.
Yeah, we lost by 40. Tulsa. The Rice team was like 250. And we didn't lead for 38 and a half minutes of that game.
It was.
They came in
from
and
the
didn't
jump.
have a single quad 1, 2, or 3
I
victory
think everything was quad 4, yeah.
coming into that game. They have 0 NIL. Houston beat them early in the year by 40. I mean, there's absolutely no, even if they came in and just went through the motions, that they should lose to that team. Ever.
Yeah.
Ever.
I think in that one, you learned.
In that one, it's just like, I think you're in a 3-game slump and they've just like forgotten how to win a basketball game. Like they don't know what, like they're in their heads.
It was definitely a confidence thing, which is a little absurd, right? I mean, how long have these dudes been playing basketball for the most part? Like, I'm assuming a majority of them their entire lives.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess from age 5 on, probably
20 years.
For some of them, yes.
For most of them.
It's just insane to me.
These are grown men.
You just lose confidence like that.
It's wild. I just, again, I did not think it was going to be a fun game, but I did not realistically think we were going to look up Wednesday evening at 9:30 and we had taken a loss at home to Rice.
It's disgusting.
But they turned it around and ended.
Did they?
The losing streak. Insert the SpongeBob flash up of 2 weeks later. They finally pull out a dub. In one of the most, probably, of these games, least probable situation. Like, I guess UAB, you kind of got in that same hole. But you're sitting at the under 8 media timeout, Wichita State on your home floor, and you're down 14 to the Shockers, a team that you beat by 26 just 2 weeks ago. The last game you won that launched you, vaulted you into the top 10. And then you come in, and again, second game in a row to another team that only has one conference win.
It's disgusting.
Where you trailed for 30. This one was really, you trailed for 39 and a half minutes. You took the lead when JQ hit that three with under a minute left, or about a minute left.
Did it take the lead, or did I thought it tied it?
No, I think it gave us the lead by one.
Who, JQ?
I'm pretty sure JQ's shot gave us the lead by one.
I thought it tied it.
I thought it tied it.
And then,
Fellas,
well,
you're questioning the rain man.
That's true.
You're right.
Let me go look at the play-by-play.
Just told you my weekend was a blur.
Let me look at the play-by-play.
Don't listen to me.
I'm looking at the play-by-play.
Without, off the top of my head, I think his three put us up 53-52. We fouled him. They split free throws to tie it, and then, or 63-62. And then DJ hit the game winner, 65-63. We win.
Yep. Dude, you're so on point. God, dog, you're so good at this.
You say so.
Wow. Dude. 44 seconds left in the game. So they led. So Wichita State led for 39 minutes and 15 seconds.
Obviously, there was
absurd,
some tie there early on, right? And I think we had tied it sometime in the first half. But, yeah, I mean, essentially, you didn't have the lead for 39 minutes and 45 seconds, or 15 seconds.
Yeah.
Against a team that is 1-8 in that's back-to-back games. Teams combined 2-15 or 16 before playing you. That you trail. We played 80 minutes of basketball against the two bottom teams in the conference and trailed for 80 or 78 minutes of 80 minutes of basketball.
I think that's the second conference game where we did not allow double-digit threes, and we won.
What, they hit 9?
7.
That's fine. That's fine.
Just being curious how long that was going to run.
So we mentioned JQ's shot. Can we talk about just the absolute go nods on that man to pull that after being 0 of 12? Under a minute left. You're down 2, and you're just going to straight up and, I mean, zero.
Green light, bro.
Just let that thing fly. And he's always got he like, you know what I'm talking about? Like kicks a leg out. Like he shoots it. I don't know. He doesn't just jump straight up. He like splits his legs when he jumps up to shoot it. You know what I mean?
Do it again.
Do that again.
He like, I don't know. It's weird.
You think he's like foul searching? Or you think
No,
it's
because
just
there was
part of
nobody was even by him.
the part of the swag?
He was wide open.
I think he tries to get a pretty wide base on his shot.
Yeah. But he's got his left foot behind his right, and he's like shooting it it's almost runner-esque. It's like the three at Ole Miss.
Yeah.
That was 100% a runner.
That was bad, man.
Let's not. There's been a lot that's happened since the Ole Miss game. We don't have to relitigate that situation. Yeah, it was funny, man. You know, kind of being on the baseline in that second half and seeing JQ miss runner after runner after runner to the point
he was
everything.
I was like,
you could see it on his face. He was just like, "What the hell is going on?"
well,
right
there was
now?
even at one point where he cut through the lane, gets to the basket like usual, tries one of his jelly fam layups, and like just missed everything. And I was like, yeah, it is just not his night.
I said it in real time on the baseline. I said, "Man, the jelly. He can't even get the jelly right."
I mean,
man.
when he missed that, I knew. I was like,
I mean, there was a point in time earlier in the year we were like, "Hey, Jake, you can get to the bucket anytime he wants.
he can.
This guy's is
And
so
he
good.
He finished,
still can.
Yeah,
It just
still can. But you got to love the confidence. I mean, he talked about it before, but to be 0 of 12 and to still pull that shot off.
what are you gonna do?
And I will say, after him making that, I felt like the team was genuinely excited and happy and celebrating together.
You know, we didn't mention it, and then now I feel like I'm backtracking. What were your feelings on the lineup against Rice, the starting lineup?
I mean, I don't ever really. I mean, I joke about it because he typically in years past changes the starting lineup so much that I'm like, it doesn't really matter. And in that game, it didn't matter because it didn't matter in the sense that he subs 90 seconds in.
Yeah,
But at the same
first
time,
stoppage
it's
is
like, what
done.
are we doing?
yeah.
Pierre's played like 10 minutes all year and all of a sudden now he's starting for JQ? Like, what are we talking about?
I think. I guess
Somebody told us before the game before it even was announced that it was happening, and I was like, "Is your guy getting Jalen and Jonathan confused? Like, why would Jonathan Pierre be starting for Javon?
I mean, yeah.
If you're starting anybody over Javon, why would it not just be Jalen coming like as a point guard?
It seems. I mean, obviously, it was Penny trying to send a message, right? Like, hey, you guys aren't pushing. You're not working on both sides. So if you're not going to work, you're out. I'll put in someone who will. But like that only matters.
I mean, I guess
if you're going to run a substantial period of time before you just pull Pierre and then put in your actual starters.
I mean, I guess that's what he's
Was
doing.
it a 3-minute penalty?
Like, they come in on the post game, and JQ's like, yeah, he kind of makes it sound like it was his idea. Like him and Penny talked about it. And he's like, I'm willing to do whatever I need to do to get us right. Like I'll come off the bench and.
I'm gonna let you know right now that is not good for the team.
What, him coming off the bench?
Yeah.
I mean, if he's turning the damn ball over 5 times, it is. But then you get JQ the other night who had 8 assists and 1 turn. Even though he's 1 of 13 from the field, but that one
we have one guy on the team that can dribble the ball, and it's JQ.
That's true. You started 5 people.
So I don't care
can't.
that he may start off cold. He's the only damn guy that can dribble the ball. How many times is David Jones bouncing off his own foot?
Yeah, I don't.
Moving without the ball in his hand. Like, he'll just bounce it and then just start take off running. Like, oh, shit, I need that ball. And have to go back and get it. Like, he just left it there.
I mean,
talented.
David Jones'
all
ball
get out,
handling is concerning, to say the least.
It's.
I don't see how he can score the basketball as well as he can and stuff and literally cannot dribble the basketball.
No, he's very uncomfortable with the ball. It's an interesting thing, man. The whole roster,
the lineups in general,
compilation, the rotations. I mean, there's so many different things that I think we can kind of point out, and I want to kind of spin it like as much as you can, right? As a high note that like, hey, we're back winning again, but like it's one game in a span of 5.
Again, I don't feel any better because we beat
don't.
Wichita State at the buzzer than I did after losing these 4 in a row. Like, I generally would not be surprised to go to Philly on Thursday and have another nail biter that comes down.
Are they the worst team on our schedule? I mean that like legit.
No, Rice is the worst. It was the worst team.
Dude, I don't know. Temple is bad.
I mean, they just took UAB to overtime. Or no, Temple just took somebody to overtime? Tulane.
Last time, look, the Temple was real bad. Like, real bad.
They've lost back-to-back overtime games. Lost to Tulane in overtime at Tulane. I mean, shit, we couldn't even get to overtime with Tulane.
You calling for a third one with Memphis? A loss in overtime to...
I will tell you this. I almost do it
50%.
Every game. 50% of the time it works every time. You bet our game. Actually, it's only worked twice this year. But
when it hits,
if you have bet it, it's been very exciting because a lot of our games you feel like are going to come down to overtime. So it feels like it's alive for the entire game.
You made me onto something.
But that's one that I wouldn't.
Is that the play every game? Just bet that you talking about overtime? An overtime game?
Yeah. Well, because generally it's plus like 1,200, 1,300. Which means you throw $10 on it, you win 130 if it goes to overtime. Right? It's like, okay, $10. That's a popcorn and a Coke at the game. Whatever. I like the overtime play. I also a lot have done either team to win by like 1-4 because I feel like our games are that close.
I guess we're on the betting topic. Have you heard the stat that Penny, wish I knew the number off the top of my head, but in his last 20 games where the spread is
never covered?
Well, the spread was like 12 or greater. I think he's won like 4 games out of 20 or something like that.
You know who would absolutely just get annihilated if that was the case? Is Ryan Silverfield.
It is interesting. I didn't know if we were going to go there, but it is interesting how we grade them separately on 2 different scales for whatever reason.
I just wish people would hold them to the same standards.
I mean, Ryan dropped 4 games and people lost their damn mind. I guess it's probably because it's the percentage of games. Like 4 games in basketball isn't It's like 1 or 2 games in football, maybe.
I get it, but
Y'all don't think people were losing their damn minds this last week after the Rice
Some
game?
people. I mean,
I do.
I don't think it's the same though.
It's not.
Is it because he's a Memphian? He played here. Is it he's the return of the sun kind of thing? Like I don't know what it is, but he gets an extra pass on some things. Like, we've talked about it. He brings in these huge classes, these great players. Doesn't really have anything to show for it for the most part. And I'm not advocating to fire Penny by any means. Like, I mean, it's not where I'm going with this, but at a certain point, I don't feel like enough people are asking questions and making comments about it. Like, yeah, he dropped 4 games, and I think there was some.
I mean, I'm not saying it either, but I'm just saying, like, you're allowed to criticize and be upset with losing to Rice at home and losing to Tulane and UAB and blowing a 20-point lead to South Florida at home. Like, it's okay to say, hey,
Sure.
his rotations are effing stupid. Everybody else can see it. Why do we continue to do this?
Well, I think it's interesting that, we as media fans, however you want to look at it, we're upset that he's dropping games to inferior teams. And Penny clearly felt that way when before the season he was like, "Oh, our out of conference, that's our schedule, that's our season." Like, he just completely diminished whatever the American was going to be.
I can guarantee you he's never going to say that again.
No, I mean, you looked ridiculous. And I guarantee I don't follow other teams, but I bet if you're UAB, if you are Tulane,
I'm sure that
any of the teams that we've just recently
material.
lost to, I'd make sure I bring that up, right?
Yeah.
We don't count. We're not even a real team on their schedule at this point to them.
Yeah. We've talked about the rotation, talked about Jonathan Pierre starting in place of JQ. The one thing that happened on Saturday, after that media timeout where you're down 14, where he played 5 players and stuck with those 5 and literally did not make a substitution, which maybe, I'm not exaggerating, in his 6 years of coaching, is that the longest?
Is that JQ, David, Jones, Walton,
Naquan,
and Temple guy?
Jordan.
Thank you.
Temple guy. Wow.
Came from
guy.
Temple. I can't remember his name.
Jesus.
You know what? I changed my tune. We're not losing at Temple because we'll have Temple guy. It's a revenge game.
Yep. Revenge game for Temple guy.
Same skip me, man.
But for real, is that 8 minutes of basketball? Is that the longest period of time
Probably.
we've gone in a Penny game
If
that
there-
there hasn't been
Probably.
a substitution?
I defy anybody to show me any longer stretch of.
I mean, that's a long period of
consistent.
basketball, if we're being real honest.
It is, but it's
8 minutes
okay.
straight, it's pretty good.
These
long
guys,
time.
they can do it.
Yeah, they did it, and they were playing their asses off for that 8 minutes. There's different levels of 8 minutes of basketball too, right?
Sure,
like
yeah.
that
The
8
last
minutes,
8 minutes in a game, a little bit different.
right? And just the intensity that they're playing with being down 14, trying to come back and win a game is a lot more different than if they'd finished those 8 minutes and were up 20 or something.
Yeah.
Right? Like they're playing at a different intensity. I mean, if there's anything, like hopefully he sees that. And I think he mentioned it today in his radio show.
I
Like
have zero faith in that.
I know, because it's been a talking point from day one with him. Every single year we talk about you got to find your 8, your 7, you 8, maybe a 9th for foul trouble situations, right? Like, here we are
11,
consistently
12.
every game. We don't even get to the under 12
Dude,
timeout, and we've played 12 guys.
he pulled Malcolm a minute into the game against Wichita State. A minute.
I just don't even understand. Like,
Never in the history of basketball has a coach, when they say who starts doesn't matter, hasn't meant more literally than Penny Hardaway.
yeah.
It is interesting. And I think they're trying to still, and it's insane that we're in February and we're still talking about what 5 play best together. Like, that's insane. But I think they're still trying to figure that out. I really
Well,
do.
yeah, because they don't ever get
They
to
don't play
with each
together.
other. That's the other, like, I
It's
know that
kind of weird. We're sitting
I
here
know
talking about
that
how they change
nobody,
up the lineups, and these
like,
this 5
obviously
never played
we
together.
don't, Kenny doesn't, like, media doesn't get to go to practice. I'm curious, like, do they do the same shit in practice? It doesn't look like it.
No.
It looks like he puts these people out there and they've literally never stepped foot on the floor together on the same team before. So I'm just like, what do you, like,
I don't know.
Do you know what they
is
do?
going through your head to put these people in these situations together?
That's a good question.
Do you know what they do that's unique? Is that they have two teams that play against each other in those live ball settings, and they have two different
split 'em
coaching
up.
staffs that go back and forth between the two teams. So like one possession, let's just for instance say Rick Stansberry and Andy Bowman, they coach. They're a tandem. Borman, excuse me. I saw
Temple
y'all's-
guy.
Temple guy.
See, it's hard.
I know it is difficult.
Names.
Names.
I know. I always make fun of Wolo, but
It's tough.
this is tough.
Andy Borman.
The lights come on. You start butchering people's names.
Andy Borman, Rick Stansberry are coaching one team, and Faraji and Jamie Rossler are coaching the other team.
And you're saying the staffs
The
flip-flop?
staffs flip flop. They change. Like
So
Rick,
now we're subbing staffs?
Rick and Andy will go to the other. Like so, they white and blue are the two teams that they have. They go. Rick and Andy will coach the white team.
Great.
Then they switch to the blue team the next possession. Then back to the white team, back to the blue team, back to the white team.
And I'm assuming these blue and white teams are just a mix of players. It's not like we have a starting five as the blue and then white is bench.
Well, again, I saw the only two practices I've ever been able to
the
go to this year
rebounders.
is like the rebounders and then
Yeah.
one practice, and it was at the very beginning of the year. So I think that's the crazy. Like we don't get to see anything that goes on in practice like ever. So
Yeah, I'm just curious how many of these lineups that he's thrown out have actually like legitimately done anything together until that moment in time.
No, I mean, it seems like they probably just.
And that's
split
not to
these
say that
dudes
you
up.
will never play a lineup that hadn't to that point practiced just based on foul trouble, injuries, that kind of thing. But like, I feel like so often we just have lineups, and I mean, everybody's just like, "What the hell? Why is this? What is this lineup?"
But I honestly think that's what practice is for. You game plan for that kind of stuff. Like let's say Naquan has 4 fouls. Okay, well who's going to come in and step in for Naquan? You practice that, right?
Yeah.
Like you get them time. That's why I think the whole like idea of, the whole chemistry issue idea is so ridiculous to me because these guys don't get to we're still talking about how they
can you
don't
build
know each
chemistry
other
on the court when you don't ever spend any time on the court?
right.
But it's also weird. How do they not spend enough time together on the court when the rotations are changing rapidly? Like, so it's like 3 minutes at most at a time for one game, and then that rotation won't see that 3-man rotation or 5-man rotation won't
See each other.
see each other again until 4 more games later. And
Here's what I'll
it's
say.
crazy to me.
I know that there's probably going to be a reaction to this conversation about rotations and be like, Penny's forgotten more about basketball than TJ and Trey and Kenny will ever know. And guess what? You know what? That's true. That's true. Like he knows a lot about basketball. But I refuse to believe that there is some underlying grand scheme to these rotations when 90%, 99% of coaches across the country, whether it be college or NBA, they don't do that. They don't do it this way.
Yeah. And I'm not, look, people will look at the minutes and stuff, and yeah, JQ, Jaquan, I mean, even Malcolm's been up there, but like those guys, DJ, they're getting 30 minutes a night. I'm not talking about the number of minutes they're playing. It's when those minutes get played, right? Like, I don't know. And then at times when you have like Jaden and Ashton approaching 10 minutes,
Oh, God.
it's just too many.
What are your feelings on playing the Hardaway brothers together?
No. Why does it happen?
It happens
doesn't need
every
to happen.
game.
I know.
It
They're
happens
the
It's
every
the
game.
same. It's not. It's different, but it reminds me of freaking playing Alo and Tyler together. Why do you have 2 sub 6 foot dudes on the floor together at the same time when you're supposed to be like all about defense? You got 2 dudes out there that TJ could back down.
I don't think either Hardaway son is sub 6 foot.
I know.
but
I'm just saying it feels the same.
He's
Why
talking
are-
about Tyler and Amy.
I know.
Why are they both on the floor together at the same time?
It does feel interesting, to say the least.
I'm not trying to be ugly, but Ashton should not.
He's a
unless,
freshman. He's a freshman.
Unless he's, you can play him, fine. Put him out there at some point. If he makes a 3, he can play a couple more minutes. But when he comes out and we nearly have a delay of game because we need to pull in a new goal, Like, he should not be on the floor anymore.
I mean, if we're playing a freshman, I want it to be Carl. I think Carl at least gives you something on the defensive end and energy. I don't get that from Ashton. I just don't.
And it shouldn't be more than like a couple minutes
got 2
to
minutes.
give somebody a
Yeah,
breather.
and
But I'm also like, I don't think.
tiny minutes.
And I just don't. Why? Why are we doing it? Is he doing it to make everybody happy? Like, hey, I got you in.
I think so.
Like, I'm giving you an opportunity to prove that you can be out there. But it's like, we're trying to win basketball games, man.
Yeah, I do think you get into a situation with the way you build the rosters out, right? You know, he built it out in a way that you're starting 5 plus, in theory, Caleb Mills. That was kind of your go-to, right? You got your 6, and then they brought in Naquan. Whatever you think of Jordan Brown, right? Like, you had a decent little setup going, and then shit fell apart. And now I just don't think they know what they're going to do. They're just kind of making it up as they go. You know, they're sitting there telling you that. I don't remember what game. I guess it was after Wichita. I think Penny said that they play best when they play small. And I think about that, and I'm like, if you're telling me you're playing small, that means you're probably not. You probably don't have Malcolm out there.
I mean, that's
Which
how we.
that sucks,
that's how we.
dude.
That's
yeah,
how we
it's awful.
ended.
I think you're so much better with Malcolm.
Malcolm has been
That's
the
how we
best
ended
big on
the-
the season.
The Wichita game.
I
this
know,
season.
and that's what he was referencing. And I'm like, I think Malcolm on both ends of the court, honestly. And I know that's controversial in its own right because Malcolm has been criticized before for not having energy, but I just think you're better with Malcolm on the court. I mean, I think he gives you more on offense. Like, he gives you more on defense. I mean, do you remember the Tulane game? 700 blocks.
Yeah, I mean, he is
Maybe an
unstoppable
exaggeration.
at times. And he's been probably our best defender throughout the year. But I'm looking, it's so disgusting. We played 12 freaking dudes
You can switch it
on Saturday.
Yeah. I think that's pretty consistent.
You know how many Wichita played?
8.
8.
Yeah.
We
I mean, I
played
think that's kind of
12
standard, though, right?
12 guys.
Okay.
It is
So you're gonna make me
February.
pull this up, dude. What are the minutes, though?
Why are there 12? I don't even care what the minutes
Well,
are.
The
Why did-
minutes are not to me.
You won a basketball game by 2 points. Why are 12 people checking into the game?
Well, Pierre's 2 minutes are the 2 that he started, and then he never saw the ball again.
He didn't start against Wichita.
He started against Rice.
Excuse me. Yes. The 2 minutes he came in were those. It's just 2 minutes, and that's it. Never saw the court
It's
again.
2
Yeah,
minutes.
but guess
it's
who he
2
came
minutes
in
too
for?
long.
Guess who he came in for?
I know.
For Jaquan after Jaquan hit 2 3-pointers in a row.
Well,
Did they
Penny's
bring-
done that for years.
But that's
the guy
what I'm
gets
saying.
hot and he pulls them out.
That's what I'm saying.
And no one knows why. We know.
It's less about the minutes and it's more about
When it happens.
when it happens and the flow that it just stifles. It just stops it in its tracks. Stops it.
I mean, shit, it's like the Alabama State game, right? You come back from Chris break. We'd been close. You get it up to like 17 with 4.5 minutes left, and he like empties the bench out. And then all of a sudden, you look up, there's 2.5 minutes left, and now it's like an 8-point game. And
yeah.
you're like, what the hell's going on? Why did we just make those subs? Make those subs with 45 seconds left.
Yeah, I don't know. And I know that
12 guys? Are you serious?
here's what's people are gonna say this. I already hear people saying Penny's still a relatively new coach and he's still learning.
Do you know how pissed off I would be if I was on a men's league team and there were 12 dudes on the roster?
Well, I think you have to have like a minimum number of players specifically. So
Yeah, 5.
no, I think it's actually more than that.
Technically 4.
No, it's actually I think
That's not even- I'm not even kidding.
Because TCU women's team.
I'm being dead serious. If I showed up and there were 12 guys on a men's league team, I would probably leave.
Yeah.
So you can't sit here and tell me that like
I think we'll see you guys leave.
Jaquan, David, like those dudes are thrilled with.
And do you know what? That's
Well, I
okay.
think their word.
Let's say you
I know
got
it's
these
okay, but it's just like why?
the 9, 10, 11, and 12 guy on the bench for the Tigers. If they leave, that's okay.
That's what I'm saying.
It is, yeah.
It's
I mean,
okay because guess what? You'll go get another 9, 10, 11, and 12 guy. So in this right now, if they're not willing to wait their time, that's what I don't get it, man. Ugh.
Yeah, they'll go to
We played
Abilene
11
Christian and we'll play them next year. And they'll
played
probably
11
beat us.
guys against UAB. UAB played 8. Like, I haven't been that hung up on this, and now I'm getting worked up about it. It's all anybody's talked about all day on the radio, on everything, and I'm getting pissed off all over again.
But it's nothing new, like you're saying. Like this is Penny, all 6 years now.
This feels different to me.
I don't feel like it's happened this late in the year, though.
Yep,
and some of that, I guess, is because of injuries, different things. People
popping his ankle left and right.
Right. Or back issues, what have you. People, hands cut. I mean, he's kind of been forced into limiting that. But then that's also, you go back and you're like, everybody talked about Penny's teams play their best basketball in February and March. Well, that's when some of your injuries have happened and forced you into these limiting rotations.
Man, something just popped into my brain.
February, and we've played 12 guys the last 2 games. What are we doing?
Something just popped in my brain. For years, Tiger fans have talked about the East guys, right? The East. Now it's Jaden and Malcolm are the only 2 left, right? Alex has been his point guard since he was an 8th grader, 7th grader at Leicester Middle School. This is his first year to coach without Alo. And I'm wondering if there's a level of just, I don't know my guys, man. Like, I don't know what to do without the guys that I've coached for a very long time. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense. I just don't know if I subscribe to it, though. I mean, he's still, like we talked about, like he knows basketball. Like he understands basketball, and he seems like he is a fluent teacher of basketball. It's just not working with this guy. Like, this group of guys just don't work. Or they did work and now they don't work, which I don't even understand how to explain that. Because I always thought this was a situation where Penny just said, let me get the best ballers I can get. We'll put them in a room and say, you guys play basketball. Here's my scheme. Let's make it work. And he was fitting basically guys who don't fit his mold. He was trying to make them fit into his system. And I kind of thought that's what this was, because no one's really defensive oriented between, if you think of just the main gist of it, between Quinterly, DJ, Jaquan, like no one's a defensive minded guy. Like, yes, Mills had that, but none of them really fit Penny's identity that he's had for so many years. So it was like, oh, we're just trying to make it work. But then you see him go through the run, and, they had a 10 run, but they beat Michigan. They beat Arkansas. We're going to ex-nay the Villanova, A&M, Clemson, Virginia. Like, there were some good games in there. And it's like, damn, do we figure it out? Like, is Penny smart? And then it turns out everybody just sucks. And that maybe that's why it seemed like it worked. I have no clue how to handle and think about this season. Like, I don't know who our best win is now. I have no clue.
It's Virginia at this
for
point.
sure.
Is it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Virginia 17-5. They just beat.
Yeah, I think they're 8-3 in the ACC now.
Yep.
I mean, they're quickly. I think it's
A&M sucks. Clemson sucks.
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely, I think, Virginia.
Give one good win.
Yeah. I mean, so what? You're sitting here February the 5th. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Hey, Penny's undefeated.
9 games left. 9 games, and you know what Ken Palm projects us to go? 5-4.
I asked that question.
I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but that ain't getting you into NC2A.
I asked the question in our Discord the other day that if you
Stop
could take
talking about stuff that happens in Discord.
If you could take a snapshot right now, I think I technically said this before the Wichita game, but you take a snapshot right now, measure out the rest of the year. I think there were 10 games remaining. What is the best case scenario outside of win all the games? I know that's best
9
case,
and 1.
but what is the realistically, what is the best case scenario?
I mean, you know that they are capable of rattling off 10 wins I feel like the 10 that were left when you said that is equivalent, actually probably
better.
No, I would say a little easier than the 10 that they won. I mean, just looking very quickly at Ken Palm rankings, VCU, A&M, Clemson, Virginia, SMU are all higher rated than, obviously SMU is still there, but higher than North Texas, and then you have FAU twice. Everybody else is sub 100. Like, they've done it before. So I think best case scenario, even though you said it's not allowed, would have been to win those 10 outright. But even given what just happened with Wichita State, I think like 6-4. I don't know. Like, I still don't like, unless truly that 8 minutes the other night, the team really figured something out, right? And they were like, okay, this is what it feels like.
Not the team.
Well, no, it's a little bit the team.
Not the team. These guys have, if you had played these guys consistent minutes, I think this would have happened.
It's a good 50-50 on who.
I mean, it's
Who to
both.
blame it on, right? Yeah.
It's both.
I think if Penny gets his rotations under control,
If he gets his rotations and the team understands and knows what it's like to win a basketball game again, then yes. But I am with Kenny. I think you said it earlier. I'm fully expecting to go to Temple and play 11 guys again. Even if it is a couple people getting 2 to 5 minutes, like it's 2 to 5 minutes too many. Play 8 freaking guys.
who are those 8? Tell me the starting 5 and the 3 off the bench.
The 8 are Quinterly, DJ, Jaquan, Jordan, Tomlin, Dandridge, Jalen Young in spurts.
Like little spurts.
And maybe Jaden in spurts as the 8th. So really, maybe 7.
Jordan hadn't added anything since he's been back. So
They
you don't play him?
enough. Yeah, they play him 5 minutes max. And he's been good in his limited time. The problem is you just don't play him.
Because I just still don't see how he fits in anything.
No, he's too old school, man. He's he'd be great at Virginia. He just doesn't fit what we do.
That's a good call out. I think he would be very good at Virginia.
He doesn't fit the running gun. So maybe I get why Penny said go small just because they can run. I get that. It's just I haven't seen enough of consistency from Naquan, honestly, on the defensive end to have any faith for him to pick up a lot of minutes.
What? For Naquan to pick up a lot?
Yeah.
I mean,
if you care about defense, like
I think that's why it's like I think Malco's got to be in there more.
Yeah, but Penny was talking about go small.
I know.
He's like, that's how we're gonna win games.
I mean,
that's when we're at our best.
Against Wichita.
Yeah. He was saying that earlier in the year too. Like he was saying like earlier in the year when we went small, we were playing out our best. And
I mean, I think the Wichita thing going small is just the situation you were in, right?
It worked against Wichita.
What was the circumstances? You had to go small to play fast because you're trying to come back from 14 down in a very crunch time. In a different situation, say you're up 7, 8, 10 points later in the game, like Malco's probably getting more minutes.
Yeah. You know what? It dawned on me. What game was that? I think it was UTSA, maybe. Was UTSA the one just jacking up threes left? Well, I guess never mind. I guess now I think about it, Jordan Brown wasn't back on the team then, but
I think hadn't the rumors started at that point?
Yeah, I think that was around the time, but it wasn't officially back yet. One thing I've never seen Penny really do is change up things. Like it seems like it's always just run.
Oh, you mean schematically?
Yeah, schematically. Like now, if somehow, some way, they ever get up, I'd be curious to put JQ and Brown in there together. And just let JQ give it to Brown down low and let Brown be old man game. And just eat up time and space down there. They won't do it. I know they won't.
I mean, they tried that a couple times earlier in the year.
Yeah, it was super early in the year though. It's kind of hard to hold that against them. Like that's just not going to work because here we are in February and they still don't know how to play with each other. So November sure as hell isn't going to work. So I don't know. I'd just be curious if he ever changes up his offensive system, or is it just going to be run?
I think it's always going to be pace. He wants to play fast.
Is that a coaching weakness per se
To play fast?
Well, just to have one system that your team can basically run. What if pace doesn't ever work? You just going to stick to your guns? Just keep trying to pace?
I mean, I don't think that he doesn't adjust. I mean, we've won slower pace game. Like shit, Wichita State was a much
He scored
lower
24 points in the first half. Yeah.
I mean,
it's a low scoring because no one was making a basket.
But it wasn't necessarily fat. Let's see how many possessions there were.
Yeah, did they even keep up with that?
64 possessions. That is the lowest. That's pretty low.
About like 20 possessions or something.
Like the UAB game, we had 82 possessions.
Yeah. But how much of that?
We're in the mid 70s to low 80s most of the. Well,
How much of that was actually the pace being slow versus them? Well, I guess the possessions would still be high. But I was basically saying, like, how much is that is Memphis just going down there, jacking up a shot?
that would still be a possession.
That's what I was saying. It would still be a possession. So the possession should be higher.
Yeah.
But some
So
of that is
I think-
dictated when you play a team that plays slow as well. So if you went to Virginia and looked at theirs.
I mean, we have 69 possessions against Virginia.
Nice.
So 5 more. Yeah. Anyway, I don't know. 2 this week at Temple on Thursday. I think, I mean,
Yeah.
you should win that.
You should. Yeah, you should. But how many times have we said that?
Every week.
The Rice game was never in question. in my
Every
mind.
week. It was.
No, I mean like beforehand, right? Like before, we're like,
Oh.
oh, yeah, it's Rice. Yeah,
Yeah.
we're good here.
I mean, especially before the losing streak, you'd have thought.
Tulane in the membrane? Don't love it.
I don't either. They've had our
Don't
number.
love it.
But Penny he said today, this eve, that they are ready to go. Let me see what he said. He said something to the effect of Tulane like got lucky. Basically,
They won by 10
I'm just
ish, right?
no. They won Tulane.
Yeah,
I think it
they
was
beat us
by
like
2.
10.
It was 81-79. TJ.
I thought they won by 10.
UAB beat us by 10. Now I can't find it, but he said something about like they got lucky down there in that building because Nicholas had food poisoning. Tomlin's eye got scratched. Jaquan didn't play the whole second half, which I do kind of agree with them. I did immediately after that game at least feel like if Jaquan hadn't missed the second half, we would have won. Not necessarily easily in the sense that it's like double digit, but like we'd have won the game by a couple possessions.
Let me tell you something. I saw Naquan's eye at the Wichita State game. Woo! Man, it still looks bad.
I mean, he straight up got scratched.
Yeah, his whole eye is red.
His whole cornea is red.
The cornea is the middle, right?
I don't know.
What's the outside?
Cornea is the outer layer. Of
the white of his eye is now
The white
red.
of his eye is blood red.
Ugh.
The cornea
Dude,
is
getting
just
hit in
layer.
the eye can be brutal. All right, Teach, let's take a break and come back. There's a little bit of football news, and then
Just a little bit.
I don't know. Last football game of the year is on Sunday. Maybe we can talk a little bit about that, even though it's not necessarily Tiger related. Just want to get
not a single Tiger involved. Wow.
tip. Is there not? I thought I saw a graphic earlier today that showed every college that would be in the Super Bowl, and for some reason Memphis was on there, but I can't think of a Memphis player that's on either the Chiefs. Well, maybe they were counting the Chiefs had signed Anthony Miller, but that's for next year. I bet that's what it was. They just misread it.
Don't know.
We'll be right back.
But Vince Williams is the closest thing we've seen to Tony Allen.
100%.
Tony Allen. I think that has been really thrown around very loosely in a kind of just joking manner for a lot of people, because everybody for the love that we have for TA, such a big factor in this franchise. We throw that thing around. We throw that the grandson thing around lightly because it's kind of funny on Twitter, but he is the closest thing to Tony Allen that has been so far in a Memphis uniform. And I think that's very, D'Anthony Melton might have been the other, but to your point, and that's what made me think about this, is that the fearlessness that he plays with, that's what Tony Allen played with. He did not care who you were. He doesn't see a name on that.
Tune in to The Daily Grind with Mark King and Luke Hatmaker at 1 p.m. every Monday through Friday, live on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel.
Sports stop being fun when the players are the enemy, bro. I'm just watching a bunch of guys that are not fun to watch. I don't care if these dudes play for the name on the front of the jersey. I don't care about any of that. But have some pride for the name on the back of the jersey. You know what I mean? Have some pride for the name on the back of the guy who's beside you in the huddle jersey. Play for him. Play for yourself. And when I say that, play for pride. I'm not saying being selfish. You know what I mean? But it's hard to watch these guys, man. Like, you can tell that these guys are thinking about everything other than winning a basketball game.
Is that not the truth, man?
Like, for real, though. Like, you can tell their mind is on audit.
Tune in to The Anthony Sane Show, Wednesdays and Fridays at 12 p.m. weekly on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel.
Man.
And my best of the week is these little old Southern ladies who come in for their physical therapy and bring me sweets, man. Lemon pound cake with fresh blueberries in it.
Gosh.
Or
and it's always good when they say,
"Oh, dude,
like, what's this called?" And it's always like, it's a lemon surprise.
When you're taking care of these little old ladies, like they appreciate you so much, man. And they're just like, I just want to shower you with gifts.
Very grateful, right?
I am very grateful. They are too, and they bring me sweets. My favorite story about this was when I was working in Magnolia in the outpatient clinic there in Corinth. I had a lady in her, I was asking her during her eval, like, what are your hobbies? What do you like to do? She said, I like to bake, and I make the best cheesecake you've ever had in your life. I said, I don't believe it. She goes, well, I'll make you one. I said, okay.
Played that perfectly.
She came back to her next appointment with a cherry, strawberry, and blueberry. And I'll PG it up. But she said, I know what you did, you little SOB. And it worked.
Tune in to the $2 Sports Show with Rusty Witten and Drew Gann every Friday at 3 p.m. only on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel.
Penny after the game, for those that haven't seen his opening statement, I thought, for a lot of people that are just diehard Memphis fans, they probably read it as a rally or heard it as a rallying cry, right. Like, oh yeah, awesome, go Tigers. Then he kept going and he was talking about the media and he said, some of the stuff I've read is laughable. Some of the stuff I've heard is laughable. It felt like he was gaslighting the media and a lot of the fan base that have been sort of in that naysayer camp. When he says, like, just because we have a downtime and these guys have a downtime doesn't mean that we're, have chemistry issues. It doesn't mean that something is broken about our team, yada, yada, yada. The only thing I'd say to him calling like the media talking about that laughable is you're the one who created those things, Benny.
Right.
In the end of the day, you can blame the media for what they're writing, but they're writing those things because you created a narrative about this team on the front end.
Tune in to On the Bluff with Christian Fowler and Gabe Kuhn every Tuesday at 12 p.m. on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel.
Timothy, you know what we're coming up on? The actual
Valentine's Day.
Yes, and my lovely wife's birthday.
Interesting.
But no, the full actual release of our sketch for football next year, Timothy. And you know what came out this week? ESPN released a little article on Friday last week with 5 of their college football reporters making predictions for next year's 12-team playoff.
Okay.
Timothy, I don't want you to get too excited because you're wearing athletic shorts this evening, but 3 of the 5 picked your Memphis Tigers to be the 12th seed in the playoff. 2 of those 5 have us traveling to Austin, Texas. Can you imagine me, you, and Matthew McConaughey in a box for the Tigs Longhorns matchup? The other, who was it? Somebody had us playing at Oregon, which
I would so be there.
you wouldn't so be in Austin?
I would so be in Austin.
I was going to say. Eugene, is Eugene easy to get to?
No.
I can't imagine. How far is it from Portland?
We weren't going to walk.
Just fly.
Just hop on the Oregon Trail to hitch up the horse and trailer.
TJ died of dysentery.
Why do I have to die of dysentery?
TJ died of ashy knees.
They're not ashy. We've been over this.
Timothy, on the spot right now, without the full schedule release, do we make the playoff? The hot votes are us and Boise State.
I wouldn't have said Boise State. I thought, is James Madison eligible next year? I know they don't have the coach, but
I think they are. I think
they are. It was just this year that they were held back.
Yeah.
I'm going to say no, we don't.
Wait, who hired their coach?
Indiana, I believe.
Okay.
I just think they have an easier path, is all. Because they're going to come in preseason ranked higher than we will. And as long as they just don't drop anything crazy or lose super late into the game, I think they'll be fine. The Dukes, that is.
Interesting.
It's just an easy bet. It's easy to say no, right?
Do we win the conference?
Yeah.
We do.
I think so.
Wow. I cannot wait.
I mean, who's going to beat you?
Well,
Tulane's going to be replacing a lot.
we have to go to South Florida, Timothy.
I think that South Florida game was more lightning in a bottle for them. I do like Golish in that offense. I think they are good, and you know it because I told you beforehand. I was like, Golish is going to be good wherever he goes. And you also know for years now that I've said South Florida is sleeping giant. We're going to have a problem with them, but I actually am not. I'm not too worried about that. Despite one guy picked Byron Brown or whatever his name is as the
what
best
was that?
quarterback.
I know what best returning quarterback. I can't. I know you.
Is because he said that
he thinks that Byron will be better in Golish's offense. Basically, is what
he says because he's dual threat. That was what he gave it to over Seth, despite Seth being the better quarterback. I don't know.
I just don't get it.
Really,
Seth just isn't getting national respect. He gets local respect because today, by the Tennessee Sports Writers Association, that W stands for writers. For those of you at home that were confused and maybe thought that it meant West Tennessee.
TJ and I were in here celebrating. He won West Tennessee Coach of the Year.
Yeah, TJ and Kenny thought that Seth was named Player of the Year by the Shelby County Sports Writers Association.
Made the
Seth, Player of the Year, only the 4th Tiger to be named that by the Tennessee Sports Writers Association. First since Brady White in 2020. And then Silverfield, the first ever Memphis head football coach to be named Coach of the Year 2 times.
Over John Heupel and Joe
I think
Milton.
the biggest piece of that is what we talked about preseason is that Seth was the better state of Tennessee quarterback. And
we try to tell you guys.
Here we are in February, and that has now been confirmed.
Try to tell you guys.
And we get him back for one more year.
Yeah.
So shout out to Coach and QB1. Football's ending.
It's also ending, but also starting back up because we're not too far away from
They are.
National
They,
Signing Day. Not that like, that's
shout
a real
out.
thing
I'm going to take
anymore,
this
but-
moment to shout out our media team, social media and videography team for both. I mean, basketball and football. Absolute tremendous job.
Yeah.
They
Well,
really.
yes.
What?
More yes than no. Some of those pregame basketball
Okay,
pictures.
I'm not counting those. I'm talking about specifically.
hell's going
I
on
said
there?
videography, not photography. The pregame basketball edits are disgusting. Some people like them. Not a fan.
I was just real confused because I saw the one before. I mean,
they're
UAB.
they're good. I think the person that does the editing is very skillful. I'm just not like the tiger walking in the castle with just.
I didn't even see the dragon. I thought it was just
Photoshop dragons in the top. Yeah, I didn't. I thought at
just
first
a
that they were
tiger walking to a castle.
pterodactyls.
I was like, "What the hell's going on here?"
Yeah.
Made me question who we were even playing. Teach their own.
Y'all stay off my guy, man.
Who is your guy?
I didn't say he's bad. I'm just they're not.
I ain't putting his name out there, man. Y'all stay off my guy.
They're not, they're not my
yeah,
favorite
they're not bad.
edits.
They're creative, yeah, but I just don't have that eye for that.
This week's was
I don't have
good.
the
The
creative
cartoon
eye.
tiger, I liked it.
I'm sorry y'all are lame. I
don't remember this
I
week,
I
so
apologize.
honestly.
It was the cartoon tiger because it was kids' night. Or
Oh yeah.
By the
we
way-
actually did comment on that one.
Shout out to Grayson Mack, man. It was Kids Day at the Tigers game against Wichita State, and Grayson, Jeff Mack's son, who is if Jeff Mack is the in-voice or the in-arena voice of the Tigers.
yeah, the PA.
the PA guy. His son did the pregame stuff, and
It was-
awesome.
Yeah,
That is
I was
awesome.
not in the building because again I have a 3-week-old, but saw it on Twitter. Great. If Grayson is not the heir to the PA throne at FedEx Forum for Tiger basketball games, and I'm fighting somebody
I'm sad I missed it
because that was a
Let's see if I
job.
Go back and
You haven't
find
seen
it.
the video? I retweeted. It's very good. He did a damn good job. Jeff right there in his ear coaching him the whole way. But impressive. I don't know how many people were there on Saturday,
You have
Kenny,
to
but
gristle in the.
I mean, I'm assuming it was tens of thousands. 10,000. Impressive, though.
10,000, yeah.
To be able to scream into a microphone in front of a couple thousand people.
Yeah, dude, that's a.
He
it's a
couldn't
lot.
be what? He was
Especially,
probably, was he 12, 13-ish maybe?
yeah, it's a lot.
Anyway. Timothy, we got anything else before we jump into this bad cat?
I don't think so. National Signing Day coming up. Not too far
Oh, we forgot
away.
about the Super Bowl. TJ, who do you like? We're not going to get too in depth because there's a Tiger and there's no
it's not
Tigers
a Tiger
involved.
thing, dude.
Unless it was next year and then Anthony Miller would be on the Chiefs.
I mean,
49ers -2 over under 47.5. I mean, how do you go
it's
at this
49ers what?
-2 is the line currently?
I'm going to take the Chiefs.
Yeah, I don't know how you go against Mahomes as an underdog.
Yeah, just
I mean, an underdog with the refs on his side, I just don't understand. how
exactly.
that's-
Exactly.
Plus money line.
Yeah, this seems kind of wild. That would be in favor of the 49ers.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's a damn good defense, though. I think the Chiefs are just, there's too much going on there, man. Except there's kind of some weirdness with Kadarius Toney. Did you see it?
You don't really know what's going on there.
Whatever.
He said he's fine. They keep making up stuff.
Yeah, I got nothing there. I don't follow the Chiefs.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Kansas
talk about this
City's
bag
cool
can.
place though. I love this can. Do you know? Okay, I'll let you guess what I was saying. It reminds me of.
Fireworks.
Yes, Black Cats.
Yeah, it was easy.
So good.
We go to your house to shoot fireworks.
Yeah.
So, of course, I knew you were going with that.
I mean, I love this can.
I
I mean,
don't
this,
know if I
this is
love
probably
it.
approaching the 9s.
I don't know if I love it. It's definitely a cool cat. Or cool cat. Cool can. Cool cat can, man. Definitely a cool can.
TJ is a cat guy too.
I have cats, yeah. It almost reminds me of oh goodness, what is that thing called? Some point. I can't remember what it's called anyway.
Interesting.
Cool can. I don't know if you guys ever saw it. If we zoomed in enough here, it's basically just black, red, and
I mean, it literally
yellow.
looks like a Black Cat firecracker.
Yeah, it's pretty spot on. El Gato Malo.
I mean, I'm TJ.
European
I'm not joking.
dark lager.
I'm going high. I mean, for me, just because I love fireworks, is a good brew. I mean, I'm going like 7-8 on this can.
It's pretty high for you. I do think it's a cool can.
Should I go in the 8s?
It's up to you, man.
There's a dead
Let it
bird on
speak to
here.
you.
I'm assuming
Too.
because the cat got it. There's a dead mouse
Because the cat got it.
because the bad cat got it.
Yeah. You went higher than I was going to go. I probably like a 7-1 on the can. I mean, I think it's a cool can.
I think that's pretty high.
It's a cool can. I mean, it's pretty straightforward, but pretty cool. What do you think about the beer itself? This European dark lager.
I enjoyed it. It's not nearly as dark as it plays itself off to be.
Yeah, I was expecting
It's a
something
little.
real thick
It's a
with
little
it.
bit of a fraud, but I'm not going to deduct points for that.
Well, I think dark is a relative term. So
It's really not that dark.
yeah, it's not like
I mean, I guess
a black beer.
I guess for European, it's dark.
It's pretty dark in this can right now for me to be able to judge that. But
No, this is good. I would get this again. I mean, I think I'm a fan of.
Crosstown.
Yeah, I just
It's
don't.
good.
I don't know that I've had a bad Crosstown brew. Have we had a bad one? No, because what Andy's Mint was Memphis made, right?
No, I don't think we've had a bad Crosstown.
I
They
mean,
make
this.
them.
This
They
feel
make a bad one. I've
They
had
do?
a bad one there, but it's actually at the brewery. I was a little upset to know
Might
that
have just
it's
been a
only
bad batch.
4.5.
I was gonna say that made me want to deduct because that feels low. But it is good, and I will definitely get this again, and I would drink more than one of these.
Yeah, it's another one of those situations where the can and the beer are parallel to me. Like, I think the beer is probably a 7-1.
I was gonna say this
7.2
It feels
maybe?
like a 7.5 beer, mid to upper 7.
Deducting some points for the 4.5. I was expecting it to be a little higher, but pretty good. I would definitely have 2 of these at least. This doesn't really tickle my fancy from a beer perspective, but pretty damn good.
Doesn't tickle your fancy what you gave in the 7s?
No, because it is good, but I am a hazy IPA guy, and this
Such
is
a
not
IPA
a hazy IPA. So it's not going to check my right boxes, but it is good, and I'll have multiple. So
Good beer.
it's at
El
least in the
Gato.
sevens. El Gato Malo.
Tengo un gato en mis pantalones. I have a cat in my
You have a
pants.
cat in your pants.
You didn't take Spanish.
I didn't, but I know some Spanish.
Interesting.
I will say, maybe Memphis. Can
We had
turn
to have
into the bad
we had to have
Cats.
Spanish names in high school. I'll give you $100 on air right now if you guess what mine was. That was probably a bad bet because I probably have told him this before.
You've not told me this, and I don't even know if there is a Spanish name for William. Willie? Were you Willie?
No.
That'd be nice. Willie Hernan Gomez is what I was basing that off of.
Gomez.
Willie Hernan Gomez.
Okay.
Former
Give me
NBA
your
player.
guess.
Willie was my guess.
You guessed Willie. You thought I just went with my normal.
I don't know. The
Why
rules
is
here.
Willie Spanish? Give a real.
I
Spanish
just know a
guess.
Spanish. There's a Spanish man whose name is Willie.
Think of a Hispanic, like a Spanish name.
Esteban.
Oh,
Nice.
he did that because my father-in-law's name is Steve, but I call him Esteban because he loves Mexican food, and I call him Esteban. That's close. Sebastian.
Oh, why don't you just you didn't give me any type of hint there?
What'd you want to hit?
I have a cat named Sebastian.
Oh well, no, I didn't want to give you $100.
I'll give you. I had a Spanish name too in high school back in the
Wow.
1800s when I was in high school. Do you want me to give you a hint?
What's it start with?
G.
Gustavo.
Yeah, boy. Woo! Yo.
Natalie, you want to know Natalie? She was my Spanish partner. That's funny. Isn't that funny how that works? 10th grade Spanish partner is now my wife. Guess hers. Started with an L.
Lolita.
Close.
Seriously.
Lydia.
Lydia?
Lydia's not Spanish.
It was on the list.
I
of
was going to
Spanish
say
names.
Luna because I was like, well, that's
It was
different.
on- it was on the list of Spanish names you could pick.
I didn't have a Spanish name, so I can't play this game.
What'd you take in high school?
Me?
No, TJ.
Spanish was taken, and
You didn't have a name?
No, he didn't. He couldn't take it. It
I
was
couldn't take
full.
Spanish, the language, because it was full. Unless I wanted to just pretty much.
TJ registered super late.
No, I didn't. Unless I just wanted to scrap my whole schedule, so I took German.
What was your German name?
Sprechen
Take a
Sie
guess.
Deutsch?
Sprechen Sie Deutsch? Deutsch?
I don't know. I don't know German names.
Okay, Kenny.
Timothy.
I keep going to Russian names for some reason.
Different country.
Right, I know this.
What's it start with?
It's a T.
Hold on. Do not say German names.
He's looking up T.
I know this guy's in there just googling right now.
T.
You guys
just
can
ask
end the episode if you want. We're just at this point.
Just
sticking
ask
around.
Siri.
Jeez. Okay.
He doesn't know how to say any of these. That's what's
I know.
happening.
Let me think. Talbot.
Talbot?
The store.
Like
Talbot's?
the stores?
So what was
No, I'm
it?
gonna let you know Talbot's is not right.
Hold on.
Trayvon.
Tomas.
no,
Tomas.
no. Let me know when you guys give up.
Just tell us.
Yeah, it was just TJ. They don't do anything like that.
Asshole.
Well, I mean, you guys.
Trey.
The option was on the table.
Trey, can we replace
We
him?
didn't get names like that. We just didn't.
Can we replace?
Okay. In 8th grade, we had to take Latin. Guess my Latin name.
Oh,
I'm just kidding. We didn't have Latin. I did have to take Latin, but we didn't.
in
have
8th
Latin.
grade.
Yeah. That's old St. George's for you.
We had nothing to do with Latin.
It's disgusting.
Maybe the Tigers can be the bad cats. going
No,
from here on out.
we need to be the good cats.
Well, the bad cats is in like you're ruining other people's days.
okay.
They've ruined because they've ruined a lot of ours.
If they're the bad cats and they're as good as this brew, they'll turn it around. Hey, good omen. There's feathers all over this. Bird's dead. You know what the temple is? They're the owls. They're a bird. The cats are going to kill the birds.
We've already lost
Thursday.
to 1 Owls.
Oh, don't say that. That's bad.
All right, this episode's over.
How many owls? I just realized how many owls are in our conference.
3.
Rice, FAU, and Temple.
And Temple.
That's far too many owls.
Too many owls. It's kind of a weak mascot.
It is a
honestly.
random ass mascot for there to be so many, but I mean, like, big cats, cougars, panthers, tigers. Those are cool, right?
Yeah.
And an owl.
3 owls in the same conference.
And none of them would go by the owl's nest, the arena. Not one, a single owl's nest.
Yeah. Interesting. Hopefully we go 2-0 this week.
Yeah, hopefully. I mean, undefeated in February right now. That's what we got to work
1-0.
off of.
Just keep going 1-0. All right, Tej. It's been a pleasure as always. Thank you guys for listening.
Sorry, my knees are so ashy.
We will we'll be back next week. Timothy will have some lotion. Come with a cold beer. Stay for the hot takes. Peace.
If you enjoyed this episode of Tigers Untapped, leave a rating and a review wherever you download your podcasts. Like and subscribe at Bluff City Media's YouTube page. Head over to www.bluffcitymedia.co for comprehensive coverage of Memphis sports.